about this one just because, again, another game that is marred by this COVID situation that's affected the NFL. And we were debating whether or not we even wanted to put this one on the docket here. Washington Eagles. This game has been moved to Tuesday night as we have Tuesday night football back in our lives, guys. The 6-7 Washington football team will go against the 6-7 Philadelphia Eagles coming off their bye week. Philadelphia is currently an 8-point favorite going into it. With that said, most of the injuries, most of the COVID situation has affected Washington, and that's why this line continues to move up and up and up, as you noted before we started recording on this podcast, Kyle. In particular, the fact that Washington might not even be able to claim that they are the Washington Fighting Taylor Heineckes, as Taylor Heineke might not suit up. Kyle Allen, I guess, put me in, coach. Kyle Allen has actually won games in the NFL before, so there is that. He's not an incompetent backup. He's just certainly not an exciting one. Can he do enough against a Philadelphia team? That's the question I guess we got to answer. So, Kyle, I'm going to defer to you here. Any reason to disagree with Vegas?
So there are three reasons why I am picking the Philadelphia Eagles to win this week's game. One, I've been saying for the past 4 weeks that the Washington football team were frauds. We came on the podcast last week and talked about Cowboys versus Washington. When you said Washington's been a playoff team for 2 weeks, I'm like, yeah, they have a 4-game win streak. Yeah, fair enough. They have been a playoff team with a 4-game win streak. That 4-game win streak came from 3 turnovers against Tom Brady. Undoubtedly, great win, but a random weird win that happens. Like, we were all stunned when Washington beat Tampa Bay that 1 week. And then it was against 3 teams that I think combined had like a 330 win percentage or something like that. Like, is an easy run there. So one, I've been saying Washington has been frauds for a while. Number two, I think that losing 20 players to your team from COVID, even though some of them are about to come back, probably makes your team worse, especially when before the COVID situation, the Eagles were still 3 or 4 point favorites, according to Vegas. And number three is that these wonderful helmets that you've been seeing all season on our analysis here are from 2012. And so even if I wanted to pick the Washington racial slurs, I would not be able to show you the helmet of the Washington racial slurs, because that helmet is the old logo for Washington that I hate having to look at every single time I look at my helmets repertoire. It's all sitting right next to me. I'm looking at the Washington one now, and I hate that it's still there. I want to toss it away because I will have no use for it anymore. But the Philadelphia Eagles are probably going to win. Jalen Hurts is back this week. That's pretty good for them. Are the Eagles going to get the 7th seed in the NFC? They just might. Is it weird that they're going to get that? Absolutely, considering I thought they might be a tanking team at the start of the season. But good on Philadelphia. They've been remarkably lucky in one-possession games this year, and they are a puncher's chance away from making it to the playoffs, similarly to the Miami Dolphins, even though I will give Philadelphia better odds to make the playoffs than the Miami Dolphins. Miami's got a real long shot to make the playoffs, but the Eagles, you can actually start to construct a path even without winning every single game the rest of the season.
Well, heading into last week's games, Washington had a slightly better chance than the Eagles. They had a 51% chance of making the playoffs, where the Eagles had a 36% chance, according to Sports Track there. Going into this game, I guess it just, come on, it is what it is. Washington's just missing the core of their team here. The fact that Taylor Heineke, he's not great. He's not like a huge missing piece, but he's definitely been the continuity starter throughout the year as his teams continue to improve and get better. And you brought up me mentioning Washington being a functional possible playoff team. And obviously there was other sites that tend to agree with me there based off just the percentage of wins that they were giving them. And going into the final stretch of games here, I mean, come on, they had 2 chances against the Eagles. They had a chance against the Giants, and then another shot at Dallas, who we'll see how meaningful that game is as we come to the close of the season. So if they were able to just go 2-2 in that stretch, given where the NFC East is, and given where the current conference is and the number 7 seed, certainly it was possible. I mean, it's possible for a lot of teams, unfortunately, to still make that 7 seed. You tend to lean, and we'll get into it, I'm sure, that the Saints will probably make that 7 seed. So I think Washington had a decent chance, just given that obviously they have a good head coach in Ron Rivera, an adult head coach, a big boy head coach there. They have some talent there. I mean, Antonio Gibson, even though the NFC's leading rusher has kind of been somewhat of a mirage, as like the NFC's leading rusher is kind of average this year.
It's really hard to find 3 Pro Bowl running backs in the NFC this year.
But nonetheless, the NFC's leading rusher heading into last week's game. And then Terry McLaurin's a stud. Now it just obviously comes down to quarterback play. And Taylor Heineke has been able to put together 4 good quarters of football throughout the season. He's been good in spurts, but that's about what you expect from a backup quarterback. Unfortunately, we have a backup of a backup quarterback in this game.
We also might have a backup of a backup of a backup because Kyle Allen is technically on the COVID list right now. He's expected to be off the COVID list by tomorrow, so he'll probably play. Can you name the backup quarterback behind Kyle Allen for the Washington football team?
You know, part of me wanted it to be Nick Mullins. I just want to see Nick Mullins out there. But so
Nick Mullins is going to play for the Browns. He's the quarterback for the Browns this week.
Way to go, Money Mullins. Good to see you out there. Nick Mullins.
Case Keenum and Baker both have COVID, so Nick Mullins is going to start for the Browns on the other Tuesday night football game.
Play it on me. Is it John Johnson or something at this point?
John Johnson would be a good one, even though I think he's a corner for the Cleveland Browns. John Johnson would be perfect.
Kyle Hilton.
It is Garrett Gilbert. Former Dallas Cowboy who started a Sunday night football game last year.
You know, it's a shame it couldn't be Ben DiNucci on the eve of James Madison playing North Dakota State for the FCS title. But
I think that's on right now. I think
it might be on right now.
I think that's a semifinal game. That's on right now.
I don't care. It's whatever.
I don't know. How about this? We're live.
Wait,
Gary Gilbert,
do we
get live?
Appropriate. Let's go. Gary Gilbert, go ahead and get it. UT right here.
Yeah, it's rare that we have live podcasts because we usually record in the middle of the day. It is currently the 4th quarter and North Dakota State is up 20-14 on James Madison. It looks like they're about to run out the clock to win the game. So yes, the rumbling bison of North Dakota State are on their way to the FCS championship.
That's what you consider breaking news.
Yes.
Anyway, the game, like I said, it's just hard to disagree with what it is. Washington's just beat up at this point. If they came in with their full team, I would give them a legitimate chance, but also adding in the fact that the Eagles are coming off bye week, they're just so much in favor of the Eagles.
But have no fear, Washington fans, because you may be without 22 players and part of your coaching staff, but it does appear Montez Sweat is going to play on Sunday. So congratulations. You get that one victory back because he had COVID last week. So I think he's also an anti-vaxxer, but he had COVID last week. So he went through the protocol this week, which means he's going to get to play while all of his teammates are out with COVID.
Well, it's good that you could add some relief to Washington fans. I'm sure they were really sweating about Montez Sweat being in there. 2 for 2.
Damn it. He did the finger guns
2
again.
for 2. All right.
Damn it.